They told me to forget I ever existed, to respect their boundaries, to disappear quietly, like I was nothing but a smudge in the corner of their perfect lives. But how do you erase a person? How do you erase your own child? I didn't ask to be born into betrayal. I didn't choose to be the result of a secret, a human reminder of two people's deepest shame. But I was born anyway, and for 17 years, I lived as their consequence. Hidden, forgotten, rewritten into a lie. My name never made it to their family trees. My face never appeared in their photo albums. And when I finally reached out, when I asked to be seen, they chose to vanish. They asked me to go away, so I did the opposite. And now, 2 marriages are broken, families shattered, siblings turned against their parents, and the truth has finally come up for air. So the question is, was I wrong to light the match? Or were they the ones who built the house of lies and soaked it in gasoline? Let me tell you everything. I'm the byproduct of an affair. My mother and my father, both married to other people at the time, made a decision one night that turned into a lifetime. Me. It wasn't just a mistake. It was a living, breathing secret they could never fully bury. Because I had a heartbeat. My mother's husband was deployed when I was conceived. There was no chance I was his. And when he returned and learned the truth, they decided something unimaginable. They wouldn't get divorced. They would pretend nothing had happened. And I would be given away. They handed me to my maternal grandparents. Just like that, as if I was too inconvenient to raise, too damning to keep. My father paid child support, quietly, secretly, never telling his wife. Money instead of presents. An invisible transaction to keep me quiet and his marriage intact. I didn't grow up calling my parents mom or dad. I called them by their names, distant, formal, like strangers. I was told I was adopted, but even that was a lie, a half-truth wrapped in silence. On my mother's side, my siblings were told I was a cousin, adopted by our grandparents. They saw me at holidays, birthdays, family events, but never as what I really was, their brother. On my father's side, they knew nothing at all. They didn't even know I existed. I lived in the margins of everyone else's story, never at the center, never in the light. Until one day, I couldn't take it anymore. At 17, I made a decision. I wanted to know who I really was, who my family was. So I did something bold and probably naive. I sent a friend request to my biological father and to one of his children, my half-sibling. I thought maybe they'd be curious. Maybe they'd recognize something in me. But instead, my father freaked out. He called my mother. Together, they arranged a Skype call. I thought, maybe this is it. Maybe they're ready to acknowledge me. But instead, they asked me to disappear. They said they were going no contact, told me to please respect their decision and move on with my life. I remember sitting there, staring at the screen, as the people who created me looked me in the eye and chose their comfort over my existence. Again, that was the moment something inside me broke. It wasn't just pain, it was rage. And underneath the rage, a cold, undeniable truth. They would never protect me, so I had to protect myself, and I had to stop protecting them. I took screenshots of our messages, the ones where they admitted who I was, where they begged me to keep the secret, and I sent them to his wife. I told her everything he had hidden, every payment he had secretly made, every lie that formed the walls of their marriage. She filed for divorce, and then I turned to my mother's family. I told my siblings the truth, that I wasn't just a cousin or an adopted child. I was their blood, their brother. They told the extended family. The truth spread like fire through dry grass. My mother's marriage collapsed. Her husband left. Her children turned against her. Both families, on both sides, crumbled under the weight of the lie. A lie they had chosen to maintain for nearly 2 decades. A lie that I had been forced to live inside. And for a while, I felt good. Not happy, but vindicated. There was satisfaction in the wreckage, a twisted sense of justice. But then, the high wore off, and all that was left was pain. My siblings' lives were torn apart. The foundation they stood on had been yanked out from under them. And even though I wasn't the one who cheated, wasn't the one who lied, wasn't the one who abandoned a child, I still felt like I had caused the final explosion. I had lit the match, and now, I wonder, did I do the right thing? All I wanted was to be acknowledged, to be loved, to be seen, and instead, I became the villain in everyone else's story. So, am I the asshole? Did I go too far? Or did they go too far first, when they decided to bring me into the world, and then pretend I didn't belong in it? Did I ruin their marriages? Or did the truth finally catch up to the lives they built on silence? I don't know. I still don't know. But I do know this. I'm not a secret. I'm not a mistake. I'm not something to be erased. I'm here. And I deserve to exist. Even if it breaks the illusion. Even if it costs them everything. Because maybe the only way to heal is to stop pretending the wound doesn't exist. This story hits like a freight train. Not just because of the drama, though it has that in spades, but because it confronts a painful truth. Sometimes, the people who are supposed to protect us are the ones who hurt us the most. And when they ask us to stay silent, to carry the weight of their shame, what choice do we really have? Is it kindness to keep their secrets? Or is it survival to speak the truth? The person at the center of this story was forced to live in the shadows. Not because they did anything wrong, but because 2 adults made a choice and couldn't face the consequences. And when he finally said, "I exist," the world they built on denial came crashing down. Was it revenge? Maybe. But was it justified? That's the question we leave to you. So tell us in the comments, was he right to expose the truth? Or should some secrets stay buried? This has been AITA Story Vault. If this story moved you, share it. If it made you think, comment. And if you've ever felt like your existence was too much for someone else, just remember, you're not too much. You were just never meant to fit inside someone else's lie.